Okay, so I hope some of you have a pen and paper because starting out, I kind of want to ask you guys to write a few things down. Hi, Rochelle. I'm gonna make sure everyone's muted so we don't have any background noise. Okay, so if you have a pen and paper, I want to start out by asking you to write down two things. How many parties do you have currently for the month of June? How many more do you want for June? So write those two things down, and we're going to kind of come back to that at the end. Give me a few seconds to write that down.
And if you haven't muted yourself, please mute yourself.
Thank you, Trisha.
I'll be sassy pants today. It's cool.
You've been sassy pants all day.
I've already cursed and probably offended somebody today. It's all right.
Okay, so let's get started since we're recording. I don't want to wait much longer. I know a lot of people more are probably going to be hopping on. But I wanted to start out with somebody who is doing amazing things already with her business. So she started March 31st. So what? That's literally like barely 2 months ago, right, guys? Yeah, so 2 months. She did 3 parties in her first month. And then the following month, so in April, she did 3 parties. In May, she had 12 parties booked. And the reason I wanted to bring her on and talk tonight is because a lot of us, when we were new, or even some of you might be brand new and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get all these parties? Like, I don't even know where to start. Well, I found out that literally 13 of her 15 parties were friends and family that she had asked. So I kind of wanted to ask her to share how she got so many of her friends and family to be her first hosts, because I feel like we kind of sit there and we're like, I don't really know who to ask, and I don't want to bother my friends or bother my family, but if we don't ask, we will never know. So I kind of want to have Chelsea share a little bit about her first 2 months because she is absolutely rocking it, and one of her fears was that she wasn't going to know enough people and she wouldn't be able to book parties. So I'm going to unmute you, Chelsea. If you might have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hi. So I basically, like, my first party, actually, she came to me because I posted right before I just posted on my wall and said, I would host a party for me if I joined Pamper Chef. And she immediately messaged me and said, I want to be your first party. And I mean, after that, I was kind of sad because I didn't get any bookings from her. But then 2 of the other 2 people, they messaged me. So the first 3 parties, they came to me just from a post that I put on my personal Facebook. And then I got so many in May because I did that like giveaway post that Danny told us to, that would really help us. And it did. I mean, almost all of them, over half of them were from me putting a giveaway post. And so
do you want to explain a little bit? Do you want to explain a little bit about the giveaway post? Because we have people on here from different teams who might not necessarily know what post you're talking about.
Oh, yes, definitely. So it was like a picture of, it had a waffle puff pan and it said like choose a number between 1 and 25 and comment below with the number. And then, tons of people commented on it. And then I personally messaged them and said, hey, I'm doing a giveaway. If you host a party in the month of May, then you'll be put into a drawing for a waffle puff pan. And I probably sent at least 40 and I got like 10 parties from it. But it was worth it. I mean, I hit over $2,000 in May. And so it was huge for me. And I mean, I have to buy a waffle puff pan. So it was definitely worth it. And from those parties, I was able to get some more for June.
And how many of your parties in June do you know the people?
I know one. So I have 6 parties so far and 1 pending, and I'm still gonna keep going because I want at least 8. I would love to have 12, but I only know one person. The other ones were from parties that I had like a few weeks ago and this last week. So, and all I had to do was literally do that giveaway post, and I personally messaged probably around like 50 to 60 people. And one party that really just kind of like set off for me was someone who has been a part of like my mom and stepdad's life, like from football and cheerleading. And so I've known her, but we're not super close. But just that, I got 4 parties booked from hers, and one of the parties I booked from her party is at $1,400 right now. So
Woo!
that is how. Yes, I'm like so excited, and she might be my new recruit. So fingers crossed. Talk to me tonight, but that I pretty much just had to ask, because if they don't want to, they're just not going to answer you back, and then who cares? Just delete the message.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So a couple things that I want to just like scream from the rooftops is how many people she actually had to send a message to get those bookings. So if you are sending 3 or 4 messages and you're like, nobody wants to book a party with me, send 3 or 4 more, and then send 3 or 4 more, and then send 3 or 4 more. You keep sending, because you're not going to always get a yes. The more messages you send, the more chances of the yes that you are going to get. And then the other thing was, I totally lost it because I was trying to mute somebody and I totally forgot what the second thing was. I'll come back to it. But I was going to have Trisha kind of take away as far as we want to start talking about like everything that Chelsea just said, what you do as a brand new consultant to get those parties so that we can get other parties booked.
Really quick, if you're not muted, mute yourself. That's like my biggest pet peeve. Just because I know that like if I'm trying to hear someone talk and I hear someone's cat like in the background jumping, Danny, I scold. Okay, so as a brand new consultant, everything that I tell my girls when they are just getting started is on average, 1 out of every 8 to 10 people that you message are going to say yes. So when you're setting out with how many parties you want to book per month, say you want to book 6 parties, right? Take that number and multiply it by 6 or 10, and that's on average how many messages you're going to want to be sending to be able to fill those booking holes. So when you're setting up, I want to book this many parties, well, you're not going to be able to just send 6 messages and be like, oh, yay, I have 6 parties. You need to progressively keep messaging people to fill those holes. And as a new consultant, having that launch party is like the best thing on the entire planet. And if you joined using a kit credit, your consultant that you joined with should be helping you take that party that you joined with and gain bookings moving forward. So, you know, you can tell everyone, hey, thanks so much. I'm so excited. I decided to join Pampered Chef after seeing like how awesome this party was, blah, blah, blah. Would you be interested in hosting a party with me? Taking that launch party. So how I explain to my girls on my team is when you have your launch party, right? You're at the top of like this big tree. So you're like the star of the Christmas tree, right? So then off of your party, you want to book a minimum of 2 parties. And then off of each of those 2 parties, you book 2 parties, right? So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, it branches down into this giant tree of people so that way you're continuously growing and expanding. When people get started, the one thing that I hear a lot of is, I'm from a small town, I'm gonna run out of people. The only way you're gonna run out of people is if you quit, if you stop having that communication, is if you stop reaching out and you stop yourself from putting yourself out there, right? So sending those friend requests, which we'll get to that. Danny's really good about the flow of that kind of conversation. But you're able to get out of your own friends and family with time as long as you're willing to put in the conversation and ask, right? So if you're if you are having your launch party and you're branching out, eventually you're out of your community. I live in a tiny little community, and to me it's tiny. Those that are from my area know that it's pretty small compared to some of like the bigger cities. And I was really worried about how I would expand out to now I do parties in Wyoming, I do parties in Texas, I do parties in North Carolina. And these are people that I've never met before. The only way that I've ever crossed paths with them is through Pampered Chef. But it's because I got out of my comfort zone and I reached out to other people. So you take your launch party and you expand from there. You expand from your friends and family's parties, because you do a party for your friend Sally, and then you do a party for Sally's friends, and then Sally's friends' friends, and then it continues and continues and continues to where eventually you don't really even have a connection to Sally anymore. You see how that can kind of work? How it branches so far out. So, Danny, I'm going to go ahead and let you take over with the friend request part, because I love Danny's system. And in fact, it's something I'm going to start implementing myself. So Danny, go ahead with friend requests and how she branches that into messages in regards to booking off of those.
Okay. And once again, if you're just hopping on, if you could go ahead and make sure that you're muted so we don't have any background noise, that would be awesome. Okay. So when you're booking parties from parties, so once you've gone through your launch, you've got friends and family that are hosting, and now you have all of these people, all of these guests at this party now that you don't know, you have an amazing opportunity to have them be your next hosts. So the flow, I'll kind of go over the flow of how, like, I have created a system of every single week with my parties on a certain day or after a certain something happens in a party. That is when I am reaching out to these people. And I apologize if I have to go into a coughing fit. I've been sick, so just bear with me. So I run my parties from basically Sunday to Saturday. I have Sunday through Tuesday are my pre-parties, where I just kind of explain to everybody. I have 1 to 2 posts a day, explain to everybody how the party's going to work, what's going to happen, how they can order, and kind of get an interaction going with the guests. And sometimes I'll throw in, like today I posted happy Monday, hope everybody's enjoying their day, drop a gift below with how your Monday is going or something like that. And it starts to get that interaction where people are seeing you and your personality. Now come Wednesday, when my party actually starts, is when the fun begins, right? People are going to start commenting, and we as the consultant need to be very mindful of how much we are engaging with these guests. We also need to make sure that the host is engaging, which is a whole other training on host coaching, which we will do if you guys would like us to, but I won't get too much into that. So as soon as I have interaction with these guests in the party, and I don't mean just like, hey, thanks for joining, I don't immediately go and send them a friend request. I sort of build a tiny relationship with these people. And I don't mean like you have to be best friends to send a friend request and then go be their best friend on Facebook. Like, even if you're just going back and forth about on the post where I have them introduce themselves, how do they know the host, yada, yada, yada. If they say something and then I say something to them and they're responding back and we're kind of bantering back and forth, I'll send them a friend request. But I do not message them until they accept my friend request. One thing, if you're very new, you will learn that if you send messages, too many messages to too many people you're not actually friends with on Facebook, there's this thing called Facebook jail, and you do not want to be in Facebook jail when you are running parties every week. It cannot be fun. So I'll send the friend request. As soon as they accept it, I will reach out. And depending on like what part of, like what day of the party it is, if it's the first day of the party and they're accepting it, I reach out and I say, hey, Vanessa, I just wanted to reach out and personally thank you for participating in Jennifer's Pampered Chef party. Are you enjoying the party so far? Nothing in that message has anything to do with booking a party, nothing about the business, simply asking them a question that they can answer and they feel as if you actually care, which we do, guys. We do care about our guests and our hosts. You need to be mindful that we are not in this just to have them book a party. We are building relationships, and that is how our business continues to grow. So that first message could be that simple. And then if they respond back and they say, oh yeah, it's been fun, I'm really enjoying the guessing games that you're posting. Then you can come back with, oh, I'm so happy you're enjoying the party. I try to make these as fun as possible for everyone involved. Have you seen something so far that you think is going to be thrown on your wish list or that you might not be able to live without? And then you just start the conversation. It can go maybe a couple minutes or whatever. And then it'll get to the point where if you mention a wish list, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I've already seen like 3 things I've already got on my wish list. And then that's when you can go in and be like, well, hey, did you know that hosts can get most of their wish list for free or highly discounted? Have you ever thought about hosting an online party? And then it opens the door. And so that's how I kind of flow. I want a show of hands. How many of you have gotten the Facebook message from someone in a direct sales company who reaches out, you've never talked to them before, and all they're asking about is either hosting your business or hosting for their business, or, oh, I just thought of you because I know you're a stay-at-home mom and I just joined this thing called such and such. Are you interested in earning some extra money? Just a cold message like that. How many of you have gotten that message? How many of you have wanted to ignore that message? Every single hand should be up. So if we are actually building the relationship and being, of course, our end game is going to be them booking a party, but it doesn't have to be. If someone says no, that's okay, because a no, not right now, doesn't mean it's going to be a no later.
Yes. That is like my favorite thing that I tell everyone. If you get a no, the one question that you hands down have to ask every single time is you always just reply with something like, that's cool. Is it no, not right now, or no, never? That is something that should automatically happen. Because what you're doing is you're taking that name and you're going forward I always take them to the next time a catalog is going to drop. So like right now, we just had summer stuff come out, right? They're busy with summertime. They're like, I can't do it. So I push them into September. What you're doing is pre-filling your future calendar. So come those months when you have those holes and you're like, son of a bee, like I cannot get these spots filled. I didn't say it, Danny. I said the letter, okay? I'm a cursor. I apologize. One thing I did not lose as a mother is dropping the F-bomb, and I have no shame about it. Those that know me love me anyways. It's okay. Yeah, see, Rochelle gets it. She loves me regardless. Rachel Macon gets it. Okay, anyways, you're pre-filling your future calendar. So come those months when you're like, crap, I need to fill this month. Guys, you have a whole list of people to reach out to. Because then you can be like, hey, Sally, I know that, the summertime, it was so busy and things were so crazy, but oh my gosh, we just had a whole new slew of goodies that just released. I would love to get some of your friends and family together to get everyone excited for the upcoming holiday season. What do you think? Would you be interested in maybe discussing hosting a party this fall? See how it re-brings up the conversation. It talks about the new products, but it's also like, hey, we'd already chatted about it before, and you're on my list. So keep that list, because that's something you can always go back to. And even if they're like, touch base with me in a month, keep moving them forward. That's still a lead eventually. Unless they're like, nope, I don't want to do parties, I'll buy, but blah, blah, blah. Unless it's a hard no, just write them down to touch base later. That's the best advice that I can ever give a new consultant or an old consultant is always have some in your arsenal for future. Always.
And also when you're reaching out, if you're a brand new consultant and you're reaching out to people and you're just a little uncomfortable as far as someone says, oh, no, thanks. I know that we're uncomfortable in stepping out of our comfort zones and asking it again in a different way. If you need help with bookings, if you get messages from people and you're like, I really feel like I could probably turn this around to a yes, or somebody says, no, I don't really have the time, do not send a message back, screenshot it to your upline, and we will help you with words until you are comfortable in booking these by yourself. because somebody could easily say, no, I don't have time. But we know that our parties for our hosts are pretty simple. We make it very easy on our hosts. If we're not making it easy on our hosts, then we need to have a totally different discussion on a different day. Our host's job should be less than 5 minutes a day where they can come in and do their thing whenever they need to, whether it's on a break, after the kids go to bed, before the kids go to bed, right after the kids go to school, whenever. But our hosts should have the easiest jobs out there. One, so that they can refer us to their friends and being like, Danny made this party super easy for me. You should totally book a party for her. Two, because if your host also sees it, which this is a completely different training once again, if your host sees how easy this party is, they might think that they could do this business. There's a potential recruit. So there's so many reasons to do all the things that we're saying and doing in parties. I will say that in parties, if you don't have, and once again, another training for another time, but if you don't have like a desirable template or you're not creating desire in your parties, then we also have to have a discussion. We should be creating desire for our guests to want to book a party. We need to be making these parties fun. They need to be able to see us as people. Like if you don't go live in your parties or even post videos, like if you're scared to death of lives, record yourself in a video using a product. Because guys, you can record till you're blue in the face until you're happy with what your recording is. And then you can post that in your party and people see your face. They see you, they see your personality. Go ahead, Trisha.
Let me just say though, that people love when you're like totally real, even if you're like a big giant dork like I am. Like people love it. They love when you're like having like a flawed moment. Like I made in the waffle puff maker, okay, I went live and I demoed that and I made the cheddar chive bread or whatever. And I melted butter in the microwave and it was like beeping at me over and over. And I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to like put the butter in here. And like everyone was like erupting because they like to see that we're real. I'm sorry, but I would rather see someone on here that's like, she's a real mom. Like she is like harebrained and has the memory of a carrot like I do. And that's my favorite thing I say about myself because it's so true. But people like real life. Like I go live looking like this because I want the other moms out there like to see, oh, I can do this job in yoga pants and be totally cool with my life because it's accessible. If someone sees me completely dolled up with makeup and my hair all perfect, like, would you guys want to do this as a business if you thought that you had to be like picture perfect model-esque all the time? No, thank you. I would have been hard pass like the first time I saw Kristen. Like, I mean, she always looks flawless, let's be real. But I mean, I would have been like, no, I can't do that because I'm a busy mom to 3 children who run my life. And this is like a quick demo to show me making lunch while my toddler's climbing on the counters. And this is real. So I understand how intimidating and scary it can be to be live, especially when your husband's messing around in your office room space.
Hi, Andy.
He says hi. But people like seeing real. They like seeing that it's accessible and it's something that's for everybody. So I get being scared. If you need to go like live and test it out, if you're on Danny's and my team, like do it with your PIC first. Like if you're like, I need to just get all my butterflies out, message your PIC and be like, hey, can I just do like, can we FaceTime and let me like do this so I can get it out of my system and have someone watch me? Like message your PIC and say, hey, let's do this. Or message Danny or I and do a Zoom or whatever you need to. If that's something to help you get out of your way, then do it. But like you have so many levels of people to lean on between your PIC and Danny and myself and, you know, other team members. Like, don't ever feel alone with that. And that's exactly what we're trying to build with this whole PIC concept is you're never alone. So don't go ahead.
So for some of you who aren't on mine or Trisha's teams, PIC, we have instilled a partner in crime because me and Trisha have become like just complete, like we talk every day and we build our businesses together and all of that. So if you have someone, whether it's in your organization or not in your organization, like find that person that you can team up with, because you can bounce ideas off of each other and help each other. And you might have a great idea one day on how you booked a bunch of parties, and you can pass it to your PIC, and then they come up with an even like a greater idea. They expand the idea, and it just bounces from there. But you touched on the whole creating desire and all of that, and like if people seeing you as a person. So as I talked about like friend requesting our guests before messaging them and doing all of that, when we are friend requesting them, they are probably, I don't know about you guys, but when I get a friend request or I send a friend request and they accept it, I'm kind of a Facebook stalker. I will go and I will look at their Facebook page. So a huge, huge part of this with people who are going to want to book parties from you is going to be your social media presence. If you have a less than desirable presence on Facebook, and I'm not trying to say this to be mean at all or anything, if you're posting about how every day is awful and oh my gosh, this happened to me and life is terrible, do you think people are going to probably want to book a party with you? Probably not. But obviously, like, we don't have to think everything's rainbows, butterflies, my life is perfect, because it's not. Like, my kids get sick sometimes. I post that on my Facebook. I don't post it in a way of me saying like, oh my gosh, my life sucks, my kids are always sick. Like, I don't do that. But people want to see you as a real person, and we don't need to air our dirty laundry. We don't need to do all of that. But also find something that you want Facebook to be all about. For me personally, I post pictures of my kids. I post videos of me pranking my husband with an air horn, and I think it's hilarious, and I'm going to keep doing it until I give him a heart attack. But like all these things, you want to post personal, but you also want to post some of your business on there as well, because if people don't know what you do, then obviously you're not going to book any parties, right? Because when they now accept our friend request, they could be a future party, and they could see one of your business posts, and not even like business posts. Like say you post a picture of or a video of you using your manual food processor making salsa, and they're like, oh my gosh, that gadget's so cool. Like, I think I need one of those. That person could be your next party. Sorry, something just literally popped up on my screen and I can't, hold on. Trisha, you raised your hand. Can you talk while I fix my computer?
Well, she's ding-donging in the background. So what we're kind of leading into is when we tried to like find the best way to go about putting this, and with my lack of filter, we had to find the right words. So there are effective and there are ineffective ways to use your Facebook in regards to not only running your business, but creating the desire for bookings and also for the business in general. So Danny really touched on not sharing dirty laundry. Let me ask you one thing. Well, there's a few things that I'm going to ask you. So one thing that I really want you guys to think about, and something that I really want you to really like roll around, is what are things that are important to you in your life? What are things that you want to be your brand? Like when you're running this kind of a business, people look at you and they follow your life because they want to support you, right? So when you look at Target, they've built this brand, right? They've built this way about them of being all about family and about savings and all about all the wonderful things, because Target is heaven. So when people look at you and your business, what do you want your brand to represent with Pampered Chef? You want to represent mealtime memories. Like for me, I share about my kids, and I share about my husband, and I share about fitness because it's important to me, and I share about my goofy friendships, and I share about the highs and lows of dealing with anxiety. Like there are different ways that you can go about sharing about your person in a positive and negative way. There are also ways to go about sharing your business. So you just joined Pampered Chef and you're like bursting at the seams with excitement, right? One ineffective way to go about sharing is by having your life become all about Pampered Chef. Because I'm not even gonna lie. Like I can automatically tell you that I start unfollowing people when they join, like, for example, what's that makeup company? what is it?
Unique.
Yeah, unique, because then that's all they share about, and it's always like product posts. Like, I like seeing makeup demos. I think they're really cool, and I like seeing people like actually show before and afters. Like, that's great. But when it's literally product information thrown at me over and over and over and over and over, I unfollow that person because that's exhausting to me. I want to see pictures of you using those pancake molds in the kitchen with your kids. I want to see pictures of you chopping onions and not having your eyeballs fall out of your head because you're not crying your eyes out anymore. Like, I want to see you making a s'mores cake with the Rock Rock. Like, show these in a functional way that is going to add value to their lives. Yes, marketing imagery is really great for parties because it shows them in a different way. But when you're sharing on social media, share it in a way that is to where when this mom looks at that and you share, I made this dinner in 20 minutes, look at how it turned out, this is real life, that mom is going to be like, I need that. I need that, because she's also a busy mom to 3. Or this is a grandma who wants to make Christmas memories with her kids. You see how there are effective ways to use social media with postings, and there are ineffective ways of just being like, buy my stuff. Yes, we are here for sales. Yes, we are here for bookings, but we are also creating a brand. We are also showing how these products, yeah, we're all here to make money, right? Who is here to make a paycheck? I'm not, there's no shame in that. Who's here to make some money, right? Yes. But we are here also to do it in a non-skeevy, weaselly salesman way. Like, think like greasy car salesman. I don't want that. You don't want to be the friend that's like, here, buy this. I don't own it. I don't know anything about it, but it's a really pretty picture. Buy it from me. Buy it from me. Buy it from me. That is desperation smell, and that is going to get you unfollowed and unfriended by so many people. So build the brand that is important to you and present that to those, and that's going to be what's going to get you bookings, because you're going to be a person and you're going to share with passion and you're going to share this desire. So another ineffective way, Danny, I'll let you talk about the next one. Are you muting?
No, my internet, I think, is lagging because when you were talking, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, everything was going all really weird. Which one were you wanting me to touch on?
The sales sites.
Oh, yes. Okay. So Trisha here is super big on the policy guide. Like, this girl has this policy guide printed out in a binder next to her computer. And I love it because if I'm ever like, wait, is this in her policy guide? She's like, let me check here.
Let me just pull it out.
Yes. So one thing that we will tell you guys is do not go into the marketplace, sales posts, like sales groups, anything like that, and post about your business, about booking parties, about buying things. It is against policy to go into sales groups and do that. You cannot put your stuff on marketplace. It has to be directly through a customer. It has to be directly through a party.
It's kind of like going on eBay.
Yes.
It's considered a third-party entity, so it's a major no-no. So, like, even if you're just trying to gain bookings, do not do it. Not only is it come off again as like that desperation stink that's like, I can't get anybody to book a party, so like I have no other way to go about it. Like, if you need words to use to get bookings, girlfriend, blow up my phone and I will get you words. Like, I will find a way to help you. But do not ever get to that place where you're breaking policy to get those bookings. You know what I'm saying? So there are positives and negatives. So when it comes to scripts, if you are like, number one, I swear if you tell me you messaged literally everyone in your whole entire Facebook and you can't get a booking, no. There is no possible way that you can't get one person. And if you can't, we need to revisit what you are sending people. The power of words, my friends, they are amazing. They are amazing. So tweaking things in a way to make it sound not like, hey, I just joined Pampered Chef, host a party. Like Danny said, when you're coming at it from a different angle, just that tweak of words, it changes all the things. So if you are needing help with your wording, message your upline, like ask the Weir page. Like there are so many resources. Send screenshots, guys. If you're like unsure of is this a good thing to send? If you're wondering about it, probably not a good thing to send. But also, like, send it to us first. Girl, I would rather read 100 messages and proof them and, like, give them tweaks and send them back to you to send out than have you feel like you're failing and feel like you're struggling and feel like this is a giant mistake. Because we all invested in our kits, right? We're all investing time in being here. We're all investing time every day into our business. Our job as leaders, Rochelle and Danny and myself and anyone else that is a director here, I don't know if anybody else is a director. If you are, yeah. If you are working towards that, woohoo. If you're not, I applaud you as well. But we as leaders are here to help and support you. So if you're needing words and you're stuck, please ask, please, screenshots are like my favorite thing on the planet. I love getting them because that means that you have thought of me to help you and that you are not afraid to ask. The worst thing on the planet is to not ask and drown silently than throw out a life, put up a flag and be like, help me, I'm dying. I would way rather have that than you suffer silently.
I agree. Also, with the scripts, I'm going to type up a bunch of stuff on exactly what I send in my parties and when and how I send it. And I'm going to share it with all the directors who are on here. So if you want those words, reach out to your director. I'm going to hopefully get them. It probably won't be tonight because my husband just got home and he actually does like to spend time with me. So I'm going to print them up or write them up and I'm going to share them with all the directors. So if you want those words, those scripts, they can even share them in their team pages. I don't care. If it helps anybody and everybody, I'm more than welcome to share all of my words on how we get bookings in our parties from our team. So yes.
So before we get off and before I hand out some homework, because who doesn't love homework? So motivating. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any concerns? Is there anything they maybe want more information on? Share with us anything that we can help you with. Raise a hand, unmute yourself, type in the chat bar, anything. This is a safe space. This is what I tell everyone, and I always get Danny to laugh, but it's so true. It is. There's no judgment. Nope.
No questions?
Okay.
None? Is it too late?
let me ask this then. How many of you have full calendars for the month of June? Raise your hand. Yeah. How many of you want more bookings on your calendar for the month of June? Raise your hand. I even want more, so hey. All right, so with that, I'm going to leave you all with a challenge. And because I love to do it, it's my favorite thing on the planet. I am giving all of you until Wednesday at this time to put 6 shows on your calendar. If you need help with wording, I want messages to flood my inbox. If you need, or screenshots or whatever, or reach out to your director or whoever. And even Rochelle and Danny, I'm challenging you guys too, and you can blow up my inbox too. I may not have help for you, but you can because I love you both. And hey-o, conference. So I challenge you to put 6 more parties on your calendar between now and Wednesday night. Everybody that does this will get their name put in for a drawing from me. I am going to do a drawing for something super awesome. Danny's going to put in something too. So there you go. There's 2 prizes. Who wants a prize? Everybody's hand should be up. Exciting things. I love prizes. I don't ever get prizes, so I always love to give them. But 6 parties on the book, and you know what? I'm even going to challenge myself to do it. I'm not going to put my name in the drawing because I'll just go get myself the thing, but I'm going to even challenge myself. So 6 parties on the book. If you get more than 6, let me know, and I will put your name in more than once. So the more parties, the more times your name's going to go in. But if you ever have questions with bookings or ways to go about posting certain things, don't be afraid to ask. Like, that's the worst thing you can do is not ask. So, Danny, do you have anything to say?
Hold on. I have a couple people who have their hands raised. I'm going to unmute. It says iPhone 6S. Oh, we can't hear you. It's unmuted, but I don't hear any sound.
Nope. I don't hear anything.
If you could type in the chat bar, because we can't hear you.
Yes, 6 more bookings, Vicky, by June. And yes, if you guys want to send your calendar to me or your upline to get to me, that would be great. So send your calendar now, like tonight, send your calendar with all the holes that you need to fill. And then when you have 6, send me a picture of your updated calendar with those holes filled and who filled those slots. So that way I know who did what.
Okay, I also have Jade who has her hand raised. I'm going to unmute her real quick.
Hi,
Jade,
everyone.
there you go.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I've noticed that one of my biggest struggles right now with getting bookings is getting people or guests to book off of previous parties.
So previous parties, as in the parties have already closed and now you're reaching out to them?
Yeah, like either it's going to close within a day or so, or it had just closed and I'm reaching out to them. And, you know, they either flat out ignore me or they just, like, you know, have reasons as to why they can't do it or they don't want to do it at all.
So what are the words that you are using when you are reaching out to them for the first time?
Do you want me to pull it up exactly or kind of go off of the top of my memory?
Whichever you want.
It usually goes something along the lines like, hi Tammy, thank you for joining Sarah's party. I hope you had a blast. I know I did. I had fun getting to know you. I saw that you were really interested in such and such product, or you seemed, depending on like if they were really interactive or not, and then I'll usually go along the lines, I was curious as to see if you wanted to host a party too. And then I usually add, like at the end of the message, bonus, Tammy would get a reward too.
So I think a big part of that, Jade, is something that I have been doing too, and Danny has actually helped me with that. So number 1 is when I send out booking messages, sometimes I get really excited and I kind of feel like a puppy and I get like, oh my God, I want to tell you all the things and I want you to be just as excited as I am. And I kind of want to pee on the floor. So I like verbal vomit like all over them. And I'm like, here are the hostess specials. And oh my God, Sally gets an extra prize. And oh my gosh, like you should be so excited. Like, don't you want to like have this dream? And they totally shut down. And I get so many no's or so many no responses. So it's totally normal, mainly because I think that we're oversaturating the conversation. So what Danny is doing is when she's sending out those friend requests, right away, as soon as they accept the request, and that's what I've started doing, is the very first message that you send out should be just very simple. Just accept, like saying, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. I hope you're enjoying the party. I'm really having a great time with you. What are you enjoying most? And just starting the conversation. Because when you come right out of the gate and you're like, hey, oh my God, you were like the best guest and blah, 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 and book a party. So like, I think people are taking it as we look at them and all we see are dollar signs. So instead of us seeing them as people and as potential like hostesses and potential like, it's really dark in here, potential like new consultants or whatever, I think they're like, she's literally just wanting me to host because she's going to make money off of me and my friends. So I think that if we slow our rolls and we take it back to like this business, as we all know, is built on relationships. So we have to get back to the beginning of building that conversation piece and just starting out with like, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request and letting my crazy come into your world. Did you enjoy the party? Like, it's just getting yourself introduced to them and then going forward from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So along those lines, I recently had just a party that and it was at the last week of May, and I haven't closed it yet. Mainly because the gal is still trying to see if another family member wanted to order that had mentioned that she did. But one of the guests that was really active and seemed to be having a good time, I tried that different approach that you were just talking about. And my message was, hey, you know, I'm really glad that you joined the party to support Amanda. Are you having a blast and having fun? And she, like, in the party, she was really interactive and replied and commented a lot and everything. But personal message, she just flat out ignored me. So, like, how would you go about that without being pushy?
So sometimes in like the hustle and bustle life, and I'm really bad about this, I'll read a message and I won't respond. And it's not that I'm ignoring them. I literally may have a naked toddler running through my house. So it could be something as simple as they got distracted and it's not that they're ignoring you. So what I do is I give it a couple days. If they don't respond, I'm just like, hey lady, just wanted to make sure you got my last message okay. Again, it was such a joy to spend the week with you. I just wanted to make sure that you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Like, it's just reconnecting. And then if she doesn't respond, then it's kind of like bless and release it. Like, she's obviously not interested in the conversation. Maybe she'll follow you on Facebook and see something cool that you're saying and respond. But it literally may just be that she got busy.
Okay, awesome. And then can I ask one other question that's somewhat unrelated real quick? Sure. So in that same, or another party that I had, it started the very last week of May, so on the 26th. Mm-hmm. I had a gal message me earlier today saying that she was trying to buy the new Disney Pixar products and that it wouldn't let her. I thought it was because the party date started before they were released.
Yep.
Okay, so if I change the party date, that will mess up the guest rewards and stuff, won't they?
Correct. And the hostess rewards. It will change everything. So you would need to check with the hostess to see what she would prefer. But then you need to message all of those guests that earn those, bonus prizes and let them know, like, hey, I just wanted to let you know Sally changed the start date of her party to be able to allow her guests to be able to purchase the brand new products. I'm really excited that you earned a free product. However, the product changed from the crinkle cutter to the peelers. Like, which one would you prefer? But you need to check with your hostess before you do any of that because it changes it from 60% off of anything to being restricted to those summer products,
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just to touch on that, I'm pretty sure once you change the date to June, you cannot change it back to May. Just so you're aware.
You can't.
So
double check first.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Sure. Anybody else have any questions? Comments? Critiquing? Kind critiquing?
I have a comment. I just love you guys.
We love you.
Michelle, I'm so happy that you got to witness the fun that is Danny and Trisha.
It was amazing. I wish I had popcorn. I should have just made some real quick, but I was eating a quesadilla. But
this is literally what our teams get on trainings. This is what they get.
I don't really know if they enjoy it as much as we do, but
I did.
Okay.
We want you guys to enjoy, and have fun and know that this isn't all like, you will sell those spatulas or I will find you. Like, it needs to be enjoyable, okay? If you can't laugh at the B word now and then, you have no soul and you need to go eat some cake and find some joy, okay? Okay. That is all I have to say about that. Vanessa, by the way, I saw you laughing so hard you had to cover your mouth earlier, and I was like trying not to laugh while I was trying to have a serious moment, and it cracked me up.
Okay, so we have like 10 minutes left that we had planned to do all of this, and we would love to answer like any questions related to anything about anything. So even if it's not bookings related, we would love to answer questions on anything and everything you guys have questions about right now.
I do have something that I do need to share, and this is only due to recent events.
Okay.
If you are looking at directorship, one thing that I need everybody to know is if directorship is on your heart, you cannot be a director with Pampered Chef and be a consultant with any other company. That is something that you need to consider when you are working towards directorship. If that is like your heart and soul and you're like, I want to do this business and I'm going to be invested, that is a policy that you cannot be a consultant with any other company and maintain a director title. So if you are with It Works or whatever, the Color Street or whatever, and you want to be a director, you will need to resign with the other company before your directorship hits. That is just something that I need everybody to be aware of, and I'm going to be letting everybody in my personal team know at our team meeting. But that is something that I didn't know until recently, and that's just something that everybody needs to keep in mind, that if that's something on your heart, you need to decide before you get there. You don't want to build all this momentum and then not be able to do anything with it. So anything anybody else wants to touch on? You have plenty of time.
Oh, you know what? We kind of talked about the bookings tree, but the other night on our training, Trisha, you had talked about the 2 and 1 drops or whatever it was that you were talking about. Yes.
So when you're booking parties for the month, there is a rule of thumb that I just learned from the fabulous Jody Dillman, and I have been sharing it with everyone. So especially those that are like, I want to do the bare minimum, and I support that wholeheartedly. But something I want you to remember, for every 4 parties, 1 will flop, right? Which means like 0 or like $6. 1 will drop, as in the hostess will like be like, hey, peace out, I decided I don't want to do a party. And 2 will pay you. So on average, out of every 4 parties, you'll get paid for half. And 2 will qualify. So depending on what your goals are, depending on what your financial goals are, or just being active every month, the rule of thumb is out of 4, 2 will be able to make you some kind of an income. So while I support those that are like, I just want to do a party a month or whatever, just know on average, unless you're like really diligent with your hostess and your host coaching, that is on average the rule of thumb. So one thing that I do want to ask those that are on Danny's and my team, and we kind of talked about this at the Rockstars on the Rise training, is there anything specific that you guys would like more training on? We are developing some trainings that we want to bring to our teams, but this is your business just as much as it is Danny's and mine. And we want to be supportive to you to whatever you're working towards. So is there anything specific that you guys want to learn more on? We want to do a trainings on Squee because that's a different avenue off of Facebook with all of their fabulous policy changes all the time. Probably get blocked. They can hear me whenever I say anything. We want to do one on host coaching. How could we get better on working on how to word things more personally? That's good. That'd be a good one. Anything else?
Yeah, Danny, maybe you might be able to help me later on, or if I actually fly home to Oregon at the end of the month, on showing me or walking me through how to do those algorithms that you were talking about when you're posting on your party as the host, or in our case, if we have a host and we're posting for them.
Yeah, so Facebook algorithms are a frustrating / blessing thing that Facebook has provided us with. So it's like I could probably talk for hours on Facebook algorithms, and if for those of you who don't know what that means, it means, so if you're doing like groups, or really if you're just even on your personal Facebook, when you have posts that are not getting any comments, any engagement whatsoever, Facebook land probably isn't being shown those posts. So you could have a Facebook post that has nothing on it, and you're like, why is nobody commenting? That's because nobody has seen it. So in Facebook groups, when we're doing parties, this is one reason why host coaching is key. If you do not have your host commenting on almost every single post, their guests could very well not be seeing the posts. They might not be getting the notifications. And the more a post has comments and engagement on it, it will actually take it from that group and it will start posting it on people's timelines. Whereas I'm sure all of us are guilty of, late at night or early in the morning, we're sitting there scrolling through our news feed, looking to see what people are up to. Well, if that post in your party has a ton of engagement and a ton of people are like all over it, like all of my Guess How Many games, those are my most popular posts. Those are being taken from the group. I mean, it's still there, but it will be now in everybody who has clicked join or whatever. It will now be shown in their newsfeed as they're scrolling their Facebook, just looking at random stuff. So the more engaged these posts are, and that's where I'm like super big on wording on posts, where I'm not saying comment below to book a party or comment below if you're interested in the business. Just as like a example, every payday, so this has more to do with like recruiting or whatnot, but every payday, I post a picture of my paycheck. I don't do it to boast. I don't do it to gloat. I do it to share why I keep doing what I'm doing. And so every month, once a month, I post my paycheck and I talk about what that check has done for my family or what it continues to do for my family, why I'm so blessed to have this company at the end. And maybe at the end of my post, I'll say something about what would you do with an extra couple $100? Or even if I don't even want to be that, I mean, it's still a little salesy, but I'll just post at the end of it, what would something like this do for your family or something like that. And people do end up commenting on it or saying, wow, congratulations or whatever. But you don't have to have an extremely large paycheck to do something like that. You could have a few parties and it's paying your phone bill or it's paying for groceries or a car bill. Like anything and everything, the victories in your business, post it on your Facebook, because what you think is a very small victory could be something that is huge that somebody else, like just paying a cell phone bill, you guys, could be huge for somebody. Like somebody could very well not be able to afford a cell phone bill each month. So if you're posting stuff like that, that is what's getting people involved. That's what's getting people to post, comment, like, and yeah, Facebook algorithms, like I said, I could go for days on it, but engaging posts, creating desire to comment and interact on those posts. And as well, if you are not commenting on people's things, they will not be seeing your stuff. So go through your friends list. When you're scrolling those news feeds, don't just click the like button. You want to comment. You want to engage with those people, because as soon as you start engaging with them, especially for those of us who start getting a ton of friends on Facebook, I think I'm just like pushing 3,000 people on my friends list. When you get that many people on your friends list, it tends to be overwhelming and you stop seeing posts and they stop seeing your posts because you're not engaging with them. So if you're wanting people to be involved in your life and your business, then be involved in their life and their business, because it will come back tenfold, I promise. And sorry I got off on a tangent.
So with that, we'll kind of wrap things up. Because it is being recorded, Danny and I have started a new thing that we have a word that we say during each of the trainings, so that way those that watch the video have to go back and let us know what that word is. It will not be a bad word this time. I was trying to be funny. So because of the tree metaphor, why don't we do Christmas tree this time? Because when you're starting out, you think of building businesses like creating a Christmas tree, right? So Christmas tree is the word. If you're all here, so I don't need you to message me Christmas tree, but you can if you really want to. But that way we know those that weren't able to join us. So that way if your upline messages you Christmas tree, you're not going to be like, it's June. You will understand why. So Does anybody have any questions? Did anybody like get anything out of it? Was there any new information that you maybe learned? Nobody learned anything? I was hilarious for a whole hour for no reason.
So I have one last thing I just thought of that might be like an aha moment for everybody. If you ladies are willing to share, Rochelle and Trisha, how many parties do you have each month? What is your goal? How many? So actually, let's do weekly because that's how I do it. How many parties do you hold each week? And what is your personal sales commission? Not like director commission, just your personal sales commissions. Because I feel like maybe that might hit home with a lot of people. Rochelle doesn't want to. Trisha, I'm willing to share.
What am I sharing? How many parties I have?
So for me, I do anywhere from 3 to 6 parties a week. And on average, on my personal sales, get anywhere between $1,200 and $1,500 in commissions each month.
Let me
3 to 6 parties a week.
I do 6 parties a week, 6 to 8. And I'm pulling it up because I don't know.
And mind you, half of mine, not half, maybe like a third of mine, some don't qualify, some flop, completely zeros.
My commission is on average between $1,500 and $2,000 just on sales commission. And that's with 6 to 8, we'll just say 6 parties a week. Because that's what I shoot for every month. Every week is 6. And it's right around $2,000 for commission just on my sales. So, but it's totally normal to message. I messaged Danny yesterday and I was kind of like, I am failing at my life. I messaged 30 people and I got 2 yeses. And so if you're like wondering what's going on, it's sometimes I had to message Danny and I'm like, can you read what I'm sending out to people? And I sent messages today and I was able to fill more slots just by changing my wording. So scripts are important. Danny's going to share those. That's going to be really awesome. I really hope you did gain something from this, whether it's helping new consultants get started, whether it's getting you started, whether it's getting you going again after a slump. I hope that something was picked up from this, and that, it wasn't a waste of an hour for you. We have a lot of passion for this, so I hope that truly that you got something, even if it's just inspiration. Danny looks concerned.
No, I was waiting for my son to leave the room. He's going to bed. So with that, I think we will give parting ways and goodbyes. And I hope everybody did learn a few things. But yeah, and we will hopefully see everybody later. I'm blowing you kisses too, Rochelle. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.